Biological molecules.
Biological molecules are the building blocks to make cell structures. There are four main types of biological molecules: carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids.
You can see the composition of the human body. So basically we are made up of these molecules and water.
Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates include starches and sugars. Carbohydrates are made up of the elements carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The general formula for carbohydrates is CH2O times N. Carbohydrates can be classified as monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Now let's see in detail about each of these groups.
Monosaccharides. A monosaccharide is the most basic form of carbohydrates. They are sweet and they are soluble in water. Examples of monosaccharides are glucose, which is made during photosynthesis and we all use it during respiration to release energy. Fructose is found in fruits and galactose is a monosaccharide found in milk. A monosaccharide is the simplest form of sugar, which means it's a monomer or a molecule that can combine with like molecules to create a larger polymer.
Glucose. Glucose is one of the most common monosaccharides in nature, used by nearly every form of life. Molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6. There are 6 carbon atoms in a glucose molecule, and these carbon atoms are arranged in a ring in the shape of a hexagon. The diagram shows how these 6 carbon atoms are arranged in the shape of a hexagon. Disaccharides. Disaccharides are called double sugars because they are formed by the combination of two monosaccharide molecules. They are also taste sweet and they are also soluble in water. Examples are sucrose, which is table sugar, lactose, which is the sugar found in milk, and maltose. So you can see sucrose is made from a glucose molecule and a fructose molecule. A lactose molecule is made from a galactose molecule and a glucose molecule, and maltose molecule is made from two glucose molecules. Polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are complex carbohydrates made from long chains of monosaccharide molecules. The diagram shows a starch molecule which is made from a long chain of glucose molecules. Polysaccharides are mostly insoluble in water and they do not have a sweet taste. Examples are starch, glycogen, cellulose, and chitin. Starch is the energy storage in plants. All the excess food made in plants are stored in the form of starch. Animals can store extra food in the form of glycogen. Cellulose is a structural polysaccharide found in plant cell walls, and when we consume it acts as dietary fiber. Cellulose is the most abundant organic molecule on earth. Chitin is found in cell walls of fungi and also in the exoskeleton of arthropods. This diagram shows how carbohydrates are classified into complex and simple forms of carbohydrates. Monosaccharides and disaccharides are simple carbohydrates, while polysaccharides are complex carbohydrates. Functions of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the body's main energy source, and 1 gram of carbohydrate can release 17 kilojoules of energy, and this energy is released during respiration. The carbohydrate that is usually used in respiration is glucose, and plants store carbohydrates as starch, and animals store carbohydrates in the form of glycogen but in small quantities. Cellulose is found in plant cell walls, which is a structural polysaccharide. Cellulose fibers are very strong and it helps to maintain the shape of the plant cell. The next biological molecule is fats or lipids. Fats also contain the elements carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. A fat molecule is made up of one glycerol molecule and three long molecules of fatty acids. The diagram shows how three fatty acid chains are connected to a glycerol molecule. There are different types of fatty acids and they can form different types of fats with different properties. Fats are insoluble in water, and fats that are liquid at room temperature are called oils. Now let's see what are the functions of lipids. Fats and oils can be used in a cell to release energy and also to store energy. 1 gram of fat gives about 39 kilojoules of energy. This is more than twice as much energy released by 1 gram of carbohydrates, which is about 17 kilojoules. Lipids can act as an insulating material beneath the skin to prevent excessive heat loss. Adipose tissue found underneath the skin insulates our body. Animals like whales who live in very cold places have a thick layer of adipose tissue called blubber. Lipids act as a solvent for fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, and K, which are not soluble in water. Fat is a major constituent of cell membrane. Our cell membrane is a lipoprotein membrane, so it contains a major proportion of lipids. Lipids also act as a cushion around vital organs to protect and support these organs. The third group of biological molecules are the proteins. Protein molecules contain four main elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. And some proteins may contain small amounts of sulfur and phosphorus. Protein molecules are made up of long chains of amino acids. Therefore, proteins are polymers of amino acids. The diagram shows a protein molecule which is made up of a chain of amino acids. There are about 20 different kinds of amino acids, and they can join in any order to make different protein molecules. So each protein molecule has a specific number and specific order of amino acids. Functions of proteins. Proteins have a wide variety of roles in our body, and let's see some of the most important roles they play in our body. All the enzymes that catalyze all the metabolic reactions, including digestion of food, are proteins. Proteins provide structure, which means proteins are needed to make new cells for growth and repair. The cytoplasm contains lot of proteins, and also the cell membrane contains lot of proteins. So in the process of growth and repair to make new cells, proteins are very essential. Some of the hormones like insulin are also proteins. Hemoglobin, which helps to transport oxygen, is also a protein. Proteins act in defense mechanism in our body because antibodies which destroy pathogens are also proteins. This table summarizes some of the main properties of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Both carbohydrates and fats are made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, while proteins are made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Carbohydrates are made up of simple sugars or monosaccharides. Fats are made up of fatty acids and glycerol, and proteins are made up of amino acids. Solubility in water. Sugars are soluble in water, but polysaccharides such as starch are insoluble in water. Fats are always insoluble in water. When it comes to the solubility of protein molecules, some proteins such as hemoglobin are soluble in water, and some proteins like keratin are insoluble in water. Finally, why organisms need these biological molecules? Carbohydrates are basically used to release energy during respiration. Fats are used to store energy for insulation and making cell membranes. Proteins have a wide variety of functions, including making cells, antibodies, enzymes, hemoglobin, and also at times proteins are also used to release energy. The fourth group of biological molecules is nucleic acids. There are two main types of nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. In this video, we are going to focus only on the structure of DNA molecules. DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA makes up our genes and chromosomes, and it is the material that we inherit from our parents, which give us many of our characteristics. DNA is made up of small molecules or monomers called nucleotides. Each nucleotide contains three parts: a phosphate group, a sugar, and a base. In the diagram, you can see the structure of a nucleotide with a phosphate group, a sugar, and a nitrogenous base. In DNA, there are four kinds of bases available: adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. So depending on the four types of bases, there are four types of nucleotides available in a DNA molecule. So these nucleotides are arranged in a chain. Each DNA molecule is made up of two strands of nucleotides coiled around one another. This shape is called double helix, and the two chains are held together by hydrogen bonds between bases of opposite strands. The base pairing is special because thymine always bonds with adenine and cytosine always bonds with guanine. So these base pairs are called complementary base pairs. The base sequence of a DNA molecule is so special because it provides the code for protein synthesis, which in turn determines how our cells, tissues, and organs develop. A unique feature of a DNA molecule is its ability for replication. DNA replication is the process by which DNA makes an identical copy of itself. This occurs during cell division to ensure that each new cell has a complete set of genetic information.